Pay Me No Mind, sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. All over the place with the title, but hey, it's the afternoon Wood check-in. Um, First thing, because I only get 30 I only get 10 seconds of anybody's time. First thing though would be tomorrow it goes down in Indianapolis. I guess if you haven't signed up or you're unaware, then you won't be there. But tomorrow in Indianapolis is the first of 3 days of cycling over there for the first or the inaugural Major Taylor National Invitational. So tomorrow at 5 p.m., I believe, uh, that's local. I don't know what Indianapolis is. I don't know if that's central or eastern, but at 5 o'clock, like I said, I look forward to seeing a bunch of people that I've probably seen online on Instagram, in the Major Taylor cycling community and whatnot. But tomorrow at 5 o'clock is the meet and greet ride. I'm kind of intrigued to see what that's going to be about in terms of the speed and who sticks to the speed. But whatever, I'm looking forward to it. As well as and then Saturday morning is like the long distance ride. I believe they have options of 30 something miles, 40 something, and then your metric century 62 miles, as well as a an unsupported uh century 100-mile ride for the people that want to do that. I'm just doing the metric century, then I'm gonna keep it moving. Then Sunday morning early, I want to say 8 a.m. Is the Juneteenth ride, recovery ride. That's kind of the format for all of these weekend rides. The Dayton Major Taylor Cycling Club, or MTCCD, our event is less than 25 days away. The signature ride here in Dayton, Ohio, with a similar format. Friday meet and greet, Saturday the ride, Sunday recovery ride. So I'm just looking forward to it's kind of like my first national gathering, cycling gathering or event, and just looking forward to networking. Um, what's my time? Uh, The Shining Girls on Apple TV Plus, starring a 8-part series based on a book by the same name, The Shining Girls. Stars Elizabeth Moss from The Handmaid's Tale, Wagner Moura, who played Escobar in the first Narcos, the first two Narcos seasons. I want to say he's kind of popped up a few more times since the first Narcos, but Wagner Moura, as well as Jamie Bell. Um, hey, this series is right up my alley, man. And I really love what Apple TV Plus is doing as far as this lineup of shows and whatnot. I'm gonna come back and do a more in-depth review of the show, but I just wanted to get it out there that it's on my watch list, or it's in my rotation right now, and it's doing very well on Rotten Tomatoes as well as IMDb as far as ratings. The fan score on Rotten Tomatoes is 89%, I think, 83% for the critics. Just a quick synopsis of the show. Elizabeth Moss plays Kirby, a young female in younger female in Chicago who survived a brutal attack where she was left marked by she was scarred by was some instrument, a knife or something. And it really messed up her life. She's fighting through a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder stuff, and she struggles to really understand where she is in her life, day to day. And she starts working on she's works for the Chicago Sun-Times, and she's assisting Wagner's character Dan. I can't think of Dan's last name, but Dan is a reporter, and they're kind of like uncovering this story of this serial killer who is brutalizing, women, killing these women through over some decades. But it's kind of been overlooked, and she's the lone survivor. And then the second thing that comes into play as you get to watching it, you can see it's something going on with the timeline here, and it takes a while to put it together. And I actually read a review of the finale on accident, and saw too much. So now the season is kind of the 8 episodes are kind of ruined for me. But what I wasn't understanding in the time changes that I have seen through the first 2 or 3 episodes is there's actually an element of time travel involved. So it's a thriller slash sci-fi type thing, but I like it. The show is very gritty. It seems to be really smart. Excellent performance from Wagner Moura so far. I really dig Moura as an actor. I really do. He's phenomenal in this series right now. Moss, I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale, but it's the same vibe that I get from her with being like worried or being very vulnerable, very fragile or something. I might go back. I do have Hulu. I might mess around and check out The Handmaid's Tale just because I can. But here, as Kirby, Moss is doing her thing. I'm reading some things. One thing that's very unique, not unique in a way, is unique about the show is from the very beginning, you know who the villain is, and it's played by Jamie Bell. You just don't know exactly how he's doing what he's doing and what's going on, but his character is pretty interesting. I did read an article out there about the show, and one thing that I was wondering, because of where we are in the world right now, but with the show centering around women being victimized, killed, brutalized, attacked, targeted, I was wondering if anybody would express like real fatigue on why they got to be killing women. Why does it have to be women getting killed? So I read an interesting article though about I can't remember if it was IndieWire, Verge, or something else, but the book is really the show. I had a bad read on what the title of the show, what the title of the series is about. The Shining Girls. In a couple of the bodies, there was something that was left inside of the victim when they were killed. And on 1 or 2 of them, that object that was left in the woman was shiny. So I was sitting here thinking that Shining Girls had something to do with the objects being left in the women. And I thought they were gonna tie that together at the end. Come to find out, if you read the book, which I haven't, the Shining Girls is actually about the women who were killed in the book were actually leaders of some kind, or they were involved with some different movements, whether it be a feminist movement or a trailblazer in a certain profession. One of the women was an architect. It was something that it was some way in life that they were shining, and that may have drew the attention of the killer, and he killed him. So anyway, like I said, I'm through 3 episodes right now. I would only say maybe the first episode is a little slow when you're trying to get your bearing. There's a time change, I believe, that happens at the end of the first show, and you start learning about what's going on with her mentally and whatnot. She keeps this journal, and you understand the reason why she keeps the journal. But the time change in there, and the fact that her pet changes from a cat to a dog with the same name, it was a little bit to pick up on. But definitely by episode 2 and 3, I thought the show was rocking, and I'm enjoying it. 10-minute mark. Let's go in with the NBA talk. Game 6 tonight. I'm excited. I got a little bike ride tonight in some 90-degree heat that I'm concerned about getting back on time. But to check out the game, I believe it starts at 9 o'clock. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. That the pundits would get a little bored of talking about winner why, loser why, and looking at, is Tatum a superstar? Is he truly elite? Is Tatum the best player on the team? Is Jaylen Brown the best player on the team? I knew they were going to get bored with that, and it would change to whether or not another Golden State Warrior could actually block Steph Curry from getting his first Finals MVP if they close it out. And of course, with the great Game 5 from Andrew Wiggins and a regular or pedestrian, more of a pedestrian game from Steph Curry in Game 5, where he only had 16 points, I knew that was going to be the talking point. And I'm not really going to try to drag that out. Something that isn't possible would have to happen for Wiggins to be MVP. It just would. I mean, Wiggins would have to go for 35 and 40 in a Game 6 and a Game 7. And I just don't foresee that happening. Not with Steph on the court. And Steph, on the other hand, would have to go like 10 points or 12 points or something, and have some really bad nights. I don't think they can win if that happens. So, like I said, something truly remarkable would have to happen, in my opinion, for Wiggins to edge out the MVP at this point. The media would have to do something, would have to intentionally want to do something very wrong by Steph Curry. He really doesn't have that type of relationship, a negative or adversarial relationship with the national media. So I don't see them doing him like that. And I don't think you can overlook the fact that if it wasn't for Steph through the first 4 games, they wouldn't even be here with the opportunity to do what to win a 4th title in 6 championships, in 6 finals. So I can't give a lot of energy to that. If it happens, it happens. But I just don't know what I don't know how you do. You take a dude averaging 30 points. Let me get to this and let me shut it down. I don't think the Game 5 was really all that much of a negative for Steph Curry if he was campaigning for Finals MVP. And I put it like this: he went 0 of 9. He went 0 for 9 from behind the 3-point arc in Game 5. In my opinion, similar to how certain higher scoring football teams, like, they have to throw the ball down the field 2 to 3 times a half, because you might get a pass interference and pick up 40, 50, 45 yards. You might connect on the bomb and get a chunk play or an explosive play for a touchdown. Everybody can't drive 14 plays down the field. Some people you gotta be vertical, or you have to make the other team be concerned about the threat of going downfield. So similarly with Steph's situation, I'm not mad at him for shooting 9 3-pointers and not hitting any of them. I've seen James Harden take 21 or 24 3-pointers in a game. In comparison, I believe Draymond Green took 2 3-pointers in game 5. So if you mean to tell me that Steph Curry only took 7 more 3-pointers than Draymond Green, I'm not mad at that. I feel like he shot the threes that he was supposed to shoot, that the offense needs him to take. And where I give him credit is, and this is the genius thing about Steph Curry, when we come to talk about the alphas, the truly elite players, and how we expect our number 1 guys to take over games, I feel like it was brilliant in Steph to say, "Hey, the way that the way that he knows how to shoot, his understanding of the form and the technique of shooting, I'm thinking for him, attempting to, but he looks at how he's missing those shots, and he says, "Hey, I just don't have it tonight. My teammates are showing up, and have this game under control. I'm gonna go 7 of 13 from the rest of the field, 2 or 3 from the free throw lines. I gave you 8 assists, 4 bounds, 4 boards. I'm good. We have control of the series again." He didn't seem to be on the bench. His body language wasn't bad. It rarely is, but his body language wasn't bad. He's not giving off any kind of energy to make anybody else on the team panic or feel like they have to take on too much of a load or try too hard. He was just over there cool, like everything is good. He didn't even really push it about his 233 game streak coming to an end for, at least one 3-pointer made. So I really I don't have anything negative to say about Steph from that game. He still was like a plus 15 on that plus minus stat that I totally don't understand. If you want to match him up or compare him man to man against the guy who was defending him in Marcus Smart, I think Marcus Smart had 20 points, so 4 more points. But Marcus Smart was still like a negative 16 or something for his night, for the game. So I'm not really knocking Steph for that game. I think, again, what I was talking to my partner about, we've all been watching basketball for 25, 30 years, a lot of us. You know how this shit goes. In my opinion, it was no surprise whatsoever that Steph Curry was going to have an off game with a guy that scores from behind the arc and scores from long range quite a bit, even the long range twos that he shoots. You had to know that an off game was coming, and the question was whether or not the others were going, whether or not it was going to happen on a home game when the others would be playing better, which is kind of the trend. That's kind of how things happen. So I just really don't. I don't see it really. I don't really see that conversation paying off that much to go out here and try to hammer Steph for a game where he wasn't excellent. It was a rather solid game. It just wasn't great. But again, he went 7 of 22 from the field, so he didn't really shoot his team out of the game. Again, we've seen guys in this era shoot 18 to 26 3-pointers, only having made 5 or 6, and not even have any conscience about it. So, the greatest shooter of all time, I'm not gonna sit here and tear the man down and rip the man because he went 0 for 9, and because he shot 7 of 22. Only one turnover, which is great for him. So, and it was a great win. Looking forward to tonight. My winner. I mean, what I got to lose? I mean, I'm rolling with I'm rolling with Golden State to win it. I think the youngsters over there, Golden State finally hustled and positioned themselves to put some real pressure on these guys, to put some real pressure on a rookie coach in Ime Udoka. Now all of those substitutions are going to be under the microscope. Now how you press the buttons of these players and the things that you say to these players, how you communicate to these players, the things that have worked thus far, all of those are gonna be looked at a little differently tonight. The media wants to be right, so they're gonna start finding ways to tell you why Ime Udoka wasn't ready, why Jason Tatum really isn't a superstar, why he really isn't ready, the narrative is getting ready to change up, and the pressure of that happening with a team of younger guys who probably are uh, more tuned in to the media, social media, uh, more prone to be affected by the noise out there. We saw that Golden State weathered the noise just fine. We don't know that these youngsters can do that just yet. Maybe it's a different energy in the arena for the pregame. Maybe it's a little, I don't know how, maybe it's more press on site tonight. Uh, the questions are a little bit different. Whatever you allow to creep into your mind and affect you could surface in the play tonight. And I think it's going to be crucial to see, that they get out to a good start and don't get down 8 points. Don't get down 8 or more points. Now, if they go out there and they start, they start off 12-2, 14-3, 16-7 in their favor, then, maybe they start feeling confident, and it's just, and they can manage the rest of the game maybe and extend it to a game 7. And then maybe they can even put a little pressure back on Golden State with, hey, you guys actually lost a game 7 on your home court. Not in that building. I think the Roracle was still open at that time. But you guys lost one at home, and that's what we came to do tonight. That's what the mission is tonight. But the mission is to have a solid game. Everybody do what they're supposed to do, execute, and get the victory. The Boston crowd is going to be key. That's a ruckus. I'm guessing living life in Boston and life in San Francisco. I don't know, them gas prices right now out in California. Maybe that's not a good talking point, but I don't know. It seems like life in San Francisco is a different quality. It's easier to be rotten over in Boston. Never been to Boston, but it's a difference. It's a difference in those fan bases. And I don't think that whereas San Francisco might be willing to fly high, Boston, I think they down to get as dirty as you need to get. So we'll see what happens tonight. I think it should be a good game though. I wouldn't mind a game 7. We had some stinker game 7s this postseason. And again, with me picking the Golden State Warriors from the beginning, I wouldn't mind whatsoever if they closed it out tonight, and I could say that I was right. It's a couple of other podcaster partners that I follow and keep a tab on what they got going on. I want to say most of them took the Celtics. I kind of was in the minority. I usually am on all these picks. I'm usually in the minority. So here I am once again hoping that I can show that I still got it. So yeah, I'm taking Golden State for the win. That was the game 5 was I believe was the first back-to-back losses that the Celtics had this postseason. So what's the likelihood of them having a second back-to-back loss, or three losses in a row? But again, I see Steph Curry on a bounce back game. The short legend of Game 6 Clay. The momentum from the Game 5. When we know Game 5 victors usually win a little over 80% of these 7-game series. So a couple of things in their favor that if they can come out and get a lead or keep it even early on and really have these younger guys questioning different things, looking for answers and second guessing themselves a little bit, playing with a little bit of uncertainty, they can make things ugly for the Celtics tonight. So that's it, man. What I get? Just under 25 minutes. Let me get on off of here. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Check out that Shining Girls. Peace.